there was a group that was paid millions of dollars to create reports on money that was given out millions of dollars. It's crazy. You've got layers and layers of bureaucracy, and then you've got corruption, and the corruption is massive. The corruption is a number of levels. It's not like 100% the deep state. You've got like the social security scams. Those are individual, probably I'm guessing criminal gangs. I know that gangs were involved in like in the 1990s, the mafia after the John Gotti trial. I know this because some of them were my neighbors in Boca. Didn't like the publicity, so the mafia started to diversify into other things, and one of those things was the stock market. I mean, some of them got Wall Street businesses, some of them went into the water purification business, and some of them went into sort of petty scams that or hackers. There were groups that would kind of hire and sponsor hackers. So I think a lot of the social security fraud, and there's a lot of it. I've known people who, I mean, I've seen cases of that the SNAP benefits fraud, and because I lived in the South in rural areas, I've seen all kinds of fraud related to federal programs, and so the fraud is real, and it's not only the politicians who are doing the fraud. There's that too, but there's also just scammers, and the scammers are sometimes not individual people; they're criminal organizations, like the mafia. I mean, not the like, I mean, whatever you want to call it. There's criminal organizations out there. Different groups are doing lots of different things. The point is that you eliminate that, you eliminate some of the bureaucracy and some of the waste. What you have left is an efficient government that functions as it should, and this is a great a testament to that. So I didn't mean to rant too much, but I wanted to put all of this just in a quick video before I leave, and then maybe I can do something more formal later. The point is just to get this information out there that it's positive. It's, I think, in all of our interest to report positive experiences with the federal government, because this is not, and this is not, I mean, there's a few things that are being misreported. First of all, this is not a local government issue. The local governments, the whole point of what the Trump administration is doing is giving power back to the people and back to the states and back to the counties and the cities. So local governments are just all over the board. You've got local governments which are really good and efficient. I'm lucky to live in Tennessee where most of the local governments are pretty good. Then you've got some places where there's corruption, same like at a federal level. So this is not about the local governments. Obviously, we need police, we need teachers, we need the Department of Education issue is a federal thing. And as far as like giving grants to people who stuff like that, that's obviously is going to have to be I mean, there are programs being cut that are probably good programs, but local schools are managed, have better results when they're managed on a local level, because the differences in California and Florida and New York and Michigan are just vast. And I've been traveling this year, and I mean, anyone who has lived in more than one state knows that the differences between Atlanta and Miami and Austin, Texas are just huge. So having one federal school system for everyone is not appropriate. The point here is the inefficiencies and corruption in the federal government, and that is going to filter down to the local level by not having the local programs tied up in the federal bureaucracy, such as I experienced. So this is not going after your local police or schools or anything like that. So I think it's important that we individually report on positive things, because the negative things are obviously being covered by the mainstream media, because the people who have an interest to lose out on corrupt contracts are obviously pissed off. So the scammers and the corrupt people who are the beneficiaries getting millions of dollars for nothing, of course they're going to spend money on protesters for hire, and they're going to make all these cases, and so I think the positive, it doesn't have a voice. So that's what I wanted to do with this kind of extensive video post and then maybe do something later, because I'm sure there are thousands of cases out there of positive results that we're already seeing. It just may not be so obvious because of all this drama and commotion over the fact that we've cut off like U.S. aid and we're cutting off Ukraine and we're cutting off NPR. I mean, but so let's just post your positive experiences with the federal government. I think it would be really good to just get a positive vibe going, because there are going to be positive effects to this. Obviously, the negative effects are the short-term pain in the stock market, adjustments to the economy. But what are we going to get in a positive way from all this? And this is just one example. And like I said, it may be a coincidence, but I just have the feeling like we live in a new age with a new government, and there's a lot of positive things going on, both in business and just on the operations level of the federal government. And so I just wanted to share this. And so I hope other people have positive experiences, and I hope we live in a better world where we have a very strong civic society. We can have some lofty goals, increase our lifespan by 50 years, reduce crime to zero, reduce homelessness to zero. There's no reason to have homeless people in a society where we have just a surplus. People shouldn't be hungry. We shouldn't have war. We shouldn't have disease. These are not. These are not. I'm not hoping to have a luxury mega yacht. I really want all these things to happen, not only in my lifetime. In the next 2 years, I pick up litter on the in my spare time. I donate to charity. We give money to homeless people. I mean, to the extent that we can and it's feasible, and everyone should do that. I'm not special. I'm just an average Joe. Even my name is Joe. But if we all do that and we have a sense of unity about making our country great again, it's not about Trump. It's not even, this isn't even a political thing. This is really just rebuilding what we sort of had, like what I had in the 1980s. We kind of have that in Tennessee, but it's certainly not in New York or in South Florida. I mean, where I live in Tennessee, it's kind of like the 80s. People leaving their doors open, and people are kind of civil with each other. You've got strong institutions here. You've got a strong sense of community. You've got a lot of things like in the 80s. I mean, it's not perfect, but my point is that I think every American, Republican and Democrat, wants the same thing. It's really it's really, and this is what my history teacher told me. History is about, Dr. Tony Blanton, the struggle between the haves and the have-nots, right? The haves, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it's always been the elites versus the people. John Kerry and George Bush were blood cousins. They went to the same secret society. There's no difference between Coke and Pepsi at the end of the day. What's going on now is a populist movement, and it's disestablishmentarianism. That means we, the people, are not happy with how the establishment has been ruling society. They've squandered our resources through stupid, pointless wars and other adventures, which really nobody's really interested in, and so on and so forth. So we're just reclaiming that. It's a populist movement, and I think if you just eliminate all the drama, everyone agrees on these things. And I've talked to a lot of different kinds of people about it, and everyone pretty much says the same thing. How the solution is different. And there's still a lot of people who are, instead of listening to their own intuition and their heart, they listen to what people say on TV, which is never a good thing. You should always listen to your heart, not your mind, but your heart. Let your heart control your mind, not the other way around. What does your gut instinct tell you? Everyone wants to have a family, have a good life, be healthy, be happy, be free of some oppressive rules. So we're all in the same boat. We're all humans. We're all here experiencing this. There's no difference between me and anyone else that's watching this video. We're all just look a little different and think a little different, but we're effectively all humans that are here trying to achieve the same thing. So that's my my little observation, and I hope that other people have a similar positive experience. Have a great day. Thank you.